Planetech V4 oder 5. Wir sehen die verschiedenen Biome. Die wirklich gut aussehen. Wow. Das müsste ein Teil der Engine sein, die wir hier sehen, auf der rechten Seite. Womit die ganzen Sachen gebaut wurden. So kenne ich es zumindest auch von anderen Engines. Lasst uns einen Planeten bauen. Sie haben auch sehr daran gearbeitet, vom Planeten, also in Orbit und andersrum, dass da bessere Darstellungen reinkommen. Und jetzt sehen wir hier das erste Biom. Work in Progress. Einiges davon ist, glaube ich, sogar schon Whitebox und Greybox mäßig unterwegs. Wir sehen hier das Waldbiom. Das neue, so wie es reinkommen soll. Und offen gesagt, dagegen wirkt die jetzige Grafik sehr spartanisch. Schaut euch das mal an. Irre. Aber das ist ja nur der Anfang. Wir haben ja hier auch verschiedene Jahreszeiten, verschiedene Biome. Auch auf einem Planeten gibt es mehrere Abschnitte. So ein Planet ist ja recht abwechslungsreich, je nach geologischer Zone. Schaut euch mal den dichten Wald an. Hier sehen wir verschiedene Temperaturen, Feuchtigkeit, Sonne. Ja, es sollen lebendige Welten werden. Mit vielen verschiedenen Kreaturen und Tieren. Seht euch das mal an. Das nenne ich Wälder. Irre. Ihr seht auch, dass die Sachen recht früh reingestreamt werden, dass es nicht so ist, wie wir es im Moment haben, wo das alles erst sehr spät aufploppt. Wahnsinn. Also es gibt auch mehr Steine und so. Was man vom Mining nicht sagen kann im Moment. Schaut euch mal links den Wald an. Das ist echt irre. Wirklich irre. Das ist richtig unwegsames Gebiet, so wie man es quasi aus den amerikanischen Wäldern kennt, aus den Nationalparks und so. Dagegen haben wir jetzt nur einzelne Stümpfe. Schaut euch das mal an, soweit das Auge reicht. Nur Bäume und Wald. Irre. Jetzt haben wir hier ein anderes Biom, beziehungsweise Mischwälder. Nice. Boah, guckt euch das mal an. Irre, irre, irre. Wird auch das Ständigen natürlich nochmal verändern. Ich denke da nur an Microtech. Da wird sich noch viel verändern. Aber keine Angst, es kommt noch besser. Lasst euch überraschen, es kommt noch besser. Hier kommt das, was ich eben schon gesagt habe, dieses aus dem Orbit. Wenn man auf den Planeten runterfliegt, das haben sie nochmal überarbeitet. Die Farben haben sie überarbeitet, dass sie schöner ineinander laufen und so. Dass das alles ein bisschen echter wirkt. Ja, dann haben sie noch was an der GPU, CPU gearbeitet, dass das alles ein bisschen besser optimiert ist. Bisschen flüssiger läuft. Genau. Links haben wir den Legacy Renderer, den wir jetzt verwenden, und rechts ist das neue System. Der Unterschied wird sich, glaube ich, vorwiegend in FPS-Zahlen zeigen. Aber man sieht schon, gerade auf größere Entfernung gibt es da doch ein paar mehr Details. Das gleiche gilt hier. Ne? Legacy links, das neue System rechts. Es sieht schon ein bisschen feiner aus, muss man schon sagen. Hier haben wir Magda. Die Unterschiede sind jetzt nicht so gravierend, ehrlich gesagt. Aber, wie gesagt, hauptsächlich wird sich das in den FPS-Zahlen, in der flüssigen Animation widerspiegeln. Planet Tech V4. Das ist das, was wir jetzt haben. Genau. So sieht es jetzt bei uns aus. Und das ist das neue Genesis-System. Das ist schon ein Unterschied. Das ist schon ein Wahnsinnsunterschied. Es ist ein Unterschied wie zwischen minimaler Grafik und maximaler Grafik. So, meine Lieben, jetzt kommen wir zum nächsten Biom und zwar zu Sümpfen. Und ihr könnt es lesen da unten, Whitebox Assets, das heißt, das befindet sich schon in Whitebox. Ist das irre? Schaut euch das mal an. Ich hab's euch ja versprochen, es wird noch besser. Das erste, was ich mich natürlich gefragt habe, als ich diese Bilder sah, war, wie viele NASA-Rechner ich dafür auseinanderschlachten muss, damit das halbwegs vernünftig auf dem Rechner läuft. Verschiedenen Lichtverhältnissen. Wie cool. Schaut euch das mal an, wie cool das ist. Da macht dann auch das Entdecken Spaß. Hier sehen wir zum Beispiel das neue Wahrnehmungssystem. Jetzt, wo es dunkel ist, kann er gar nichts mehr sehen. Oder so gut wie gar nichts mehr. Jetzt mit Licht einen bestimmten Bereich machen. Nur den inneren Bereich. Hier sehen wir verschiedene Deckungen. Die Deckungen werden dynamisch sein. Hier sehen wir die dynamische Deckung an dem Fahrzeug, während die anderen Deckungen statisch sind. Hier sehen wir jetzt den Einfluss von Feuerwaffen auf die dynamische Deckung quasi. Wir sehen, wie da Stücke herausbrechen. Wodurch sich natürlich auch die Deckung verändert. So, diesmal geht es um die Clouds und also um die Nebeleffekte, um die Lichteffekte.
But this isn't just some simple scrolling animation. We use the same physical data sets that drove the biomes we talked about earlier and Star Architect, and these are also now driving a physical simulation of the clouds so they can form and dissipate in realistic conditions. So this means things like the oceans, the prevailing winds, mountain ranges, and the temperature will all impact the clouds. But to complement these more dynamic clouds, we've also improved our lighting model. So it now correctly accounts for how light scatters multiple times inside a cloud. And this is important, creates much deeper lighting, and it can contrast against the sun's rays, resulting in much more vivid cloudscapes like we see on the left here. Something we're all too familiar with in Manchester.
Now, it would be awesome to bring this into context and show it on an actual location. Let's take a look at a quick scene to round this up. It's a nice day on the surface, but something's different. The clouds are moving, but they're not just moving, they're forming naturally and changing shape. They dissipate as they glide on the atmosphere based on wind data, stratus and cumulus alike. Now we start seeing the new cloud shading model come into play. We are seeing enhanced occlusion beneath the cover, emphasizing the sunbeams, how it interact with the clouds, and seeing the light shafts peer through the layers.
Schaut euch das mal an. Wie geil.
Now, as this is closing in, we can start to see the changes in visibility of the area. Light precipitation is starting. Previously, we authored static cloud shapes, but no longer. We didn't manually place a volume here. Its presence has been informed by Genesis data. Oh, and it's not just a cloud volume.
Dadurch kommen dann auch verschiedene Wettereffekte zusammen, die wir jetzt hier sehen können.
Now we're trying to see the wind picking up. Terrain and rocks are getting wet. Vegetation, grass in the overall environment are responding to the weather. The system is changing the world around us. We can see puddles being formed dynamically in the dirt, properly responding to light, reflections, and rain droplets. It's getting really ominous and loud in here. I can feel the danger. I think we should let this play out in the game.
Das wird irgendwann In-Game-Grafik sein, meine Lieben. Ich freue mich riesig drauf.
Getting out of this suit now. Powering up, flying out. We'll need to switch to IFR. See you on the other side.
Man sieht auch, wie sie vom Wind so ein bisschen hin und her geworfen wird. Da schlug der Blitz ein. Auch wieder, wie der Regen auf das Visier peitscht und so, echt toll gemacht. Alleine schon die neuen Lichtverhältnisse und so verbessern das Ganze ungemein. Die eben vor uns gestartet ist. Und von Blitz getroffen. Ihr habt es gerade gesehen, die Blitze und so, die stören auch die Bildschirme. Jetzt hat sie es geschafft, die kleine Zeus ist über das Unwetter hinweg.
Now this is the new and improved friends list. So you'll notice,
genau, hier sehen wir die
sadly, one of
neue
our oldest friends that we all have
Freundesliste.
is missing though, and that's ATC.
Sehr interessant,
Sadly,
wie
our
ich finde.
friendship has ended with ATC.
Ihr könnt sehen, wo sich eure Freunde jeweils befinden. Und ihr könnt diese direkt kontaktieren.
So, you're now going to be able to see what those real friends are doing.
Ich wollte euch
with
das
richer
unbedingt
presence
zeigen,
information.
weil ich
So,
finde,
giving
es
you
ist
better
toll
awareness
gemacht.
of where your friends are, what they're doing, or if they're not on, when they were last seen.
Sogar Arena
And then
Commander
you'll
wird
also be able to
angezeigt, ganz
reflect
unten.
your own status. So you can let friends know if you're away, don't want to be disturbed, or if you just want to hide offline for a while.
Echt klasse.
Another key upgrade is synchronizing with Spectrum as well. So you'll be able
Wie ihr in der oberen Zeile sehen könnt, verändert sich wirklich alles. Also auch der Chat wird sich verändern, den wir jetzt momentan noch nutzen. Er wird neue Funktionen hinzubekommen und auch das UI auf der F1-Taste, das wird komplett überarbeitet, nochmal. Gerade in diesem Social-Bereich mit Gruppenbildung und, das wird alles nochmal komplett neu gemacht. Freue ich mich sehr drauf. Und was auch überarbeitet wird, das ist das Motion Capturing über die Webcam. Also das Head-Tracking und so weiter.
There's probably some improvements that we can make
Das
for
wird
that.
nochmal
One of the big ones that we've made
überarbeitet,
is head
nochmal
rotation
verbessert,
tracking. It's
verfeinert.
actually something we were already doing to do head tracking in first person, but we never could move the head around on the actual character itself, which we've been able to do. Some cool stuff like range of Jared?
Yeah, John.
Can we just, let's just do a fake video call. Can we do a fake video call?
Oh, you know we can do a fake video call, Sean.
All right, cool. So let's call one of my guys, Oliver Cook. He's been working on some new tracking updates.
Genau.
Hey Sean, and a big hello to
Hier können
everybody
wir
in
das
Citizencon.
sehen.
How's it going?
Hey, Ollie. It's great to see you. Everyone's having a great time. I see you're using
Ich finde,
VoIP.
das
Where are you?
klappt, wie sie es
That's
hier
correct.
zeigen,
I'm sat here in the comfort of my own home,
Richtig
talking to you
super.
via the power of VoIP and my webcam. We've been working on VoIP recently, and we're starting to see some improvements to the quality of the tracking.
wesentlich besser als bisher.
That sounds awesome. Can you tell everyone what you've done to improve it?
Well, we started off by looking at what we
Cool.
originally had, and we realized that some mouth poses were really difficult to pull. So we focused on improving the range of motion of the mouth, which now looks like this.
Star Citizen auch wieder Vorreiter. Das einzigste Spiel, was das anbietet.
Hopefully, you can see there's more of a one-to-one relationship with what's going on in my webcam. And this has helped some of those
Und das
problematic
nur mit
poses
einer
we were
Webcam.
seeing
Ihr
before,
müsst nichts extra
one of which
kaufen.
being a closed-lipped smile, which was quite difficult to achieve previously. We've also started to add in secondary motions that happen naturally when pulling combination face shapes, like squinting in the eyes when smiling or frowning. And when we combine these secondary motions with the wrinkle maps, it really goes to show just how much work has gone into these heads. Let's see how many wrinkle maps we can trigger, huh? And finally, one other thing we noticed was the tracking quality could be quite noisy in environments where the lighting is less than ideal. So to combat this, we've introduced tracking stabilization, which helps to reduce the amount of noise we get from the webcam. We're seeing positive results in low light conditions, but we're also seeing a small quality boost in optimal lighting conditions. The result is a more expressive and stable face, which is great for using in-game or making videos in the verse. And we still have a little ways to go with VoIP, but the future is bright for this feature, and we can't wait to see what wonderful things you use it for in the verse.
So I see you in the
Ein
character
viel zu
creator.
wenig
Let's change how you look.
erwähntes Feature, finde ich.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's change up my appearance here a little bit and see what we can make. The super cool thing about the character customizer is that it continues to track my face even when editing. And this is great if you want to see what VoIP will look like on your character before you commit to your appearance. Let's start off by changing my hairstyle, shall we? We have a bunch of cool hairstyles to pick from, and I used to have pretty long hair back in the day. So let's try and find something longer than I currently have.
Sehen wir auch neue
Okay,
Frisuren.
that's wild. Not quite what I'm looking for, but what else do we have? Dreadlocks. Super cool. Not what I'm after, though. Let's see here. There we go. Much better. The fun thing here is with the head tracking, it's much easier to rotate around and quickly see what I'm going to look like. Let's stick with that for now. That looks good to me. We can do the same for anything else in the customizer, but I'm going to go ahead and remove my beard here, because I want to show you that VoIP still works when changing the structure and characteristics of my actual face.
Aber den
We have a lot of
3-Tage-Bart
heads
haben
in
sie
our
auch noch nicht drin.
customizer, and I'm just going to cycle through a few of them here to show you that whatever we choose, we're still tracking and we're good to go. We can even start to manipulate individual aspects of the face, with no detriment to the mapping onto the head. VoIP won't break when you combine these heads together. So if you just want to tweak a small aspect of your character, or take on the likeness of one of the heads included, you can do so, and test out exactly how the tracking is going to look based on your face movements in the webcam. You can now see I'm someone totally different, and we're having no troubles tracking. And if I don't like what I've picked, I can always just randomize here. Which I think is a great way of not only showing the countless combinations of heads that we can make, but also that VoIP will continue to work with anything that we throw at it. I think I'm looking pretty good here, Sean. What do you think?
Yeah, good. I think it's pretty unique to Star Citizen. Thanks a lot for showing it.
Anytime. And I hope everybody has an awesome sitcom. See you later.
For obvious reasons.
Hier sehen wir das neue Wertungssystem für Sachen, also Anti-Sachen.
Let's meet our next members.
Der Pilotenanzug. Der Rennanzug. Und jeder einzelne dieser Anzüge bietet Vor- und Nachteile.
Okay. So here we have our pilot. If you remember, back in 3.23, we introduced our first specialized helmet visor, the combat visor. This introduced the dynamic crosshair and all the magazine information on your HUD. This is our pilot visor, which allows the wearer to link with their ship and cast MFDs directly into their visor. This provides the pilot with all the essential data like ship health and shields, so no longer will the pilot need to break concentration during an intense situation to look down at their MFDs.
Könnt ihr auf den MFDs was anderes einstellen,
like the leader in this situation, there'll be no penalties to flight. Plus, with added G-force resistance, the wearer will be able to get the most from out of their ship.
Erhält natürlich
so if we look at the pilot stats, they have fantastic mobility, like
G-force,
great G-force resistance when combat takes them to the limit of human endurance. And finally, this suit comes with the best EVA capability in its class for when remaining in your ship is no longer an option. Here's another variant in our flight suit class, the racing flight suit. This is what our driver will be wearing. This suit, unlike the pilot flight suit, has features which are more streamlined, which allows it to have truly unmatched G-force resistance for the hardest corners on the most challenging of racetracks. It also offers great oxygen capacity and thermal protection for those pilots with hostile environments.
Sauerstoff.
So as you can see, this flight suit excels at G-force resistance, but it loses its protection and has much weaker EVA capability. Let's meet
kann
our
enorme
next team
G-Kräfte aushalten. Und jetzt lernen wir auch noch die anderen Klassen kennen.
Okay.
Also es gibt eine Jägerklasse.
Here's our tank, who is wearing our heavy combat armor. Combat armor is similar to what you're used to, only we're specializing in even more for combat. So what does this mean? We want our wearers of heavy combat armor to feel like walking tanks. The armor should provide fantastic coverage to limit any weak points they may have, and actually have a greater damage mitigation than what players are currently used to. Due to its mass, the armor will also feature the strongest resistance to force reactions, so that's flinch, stagger, and knockdowns, which brings me on to a full suit feature. If the player is wearing a full set of heavy combat armor, they will not be able to be knocked down by small arms fire. Okay.
Hier sehen wir es. Protection ist natürlich komplett oben.
However,
Mobilität und so
here,
ganz weit unten natürlich.
Coverage and stability, we have some major trade-offs. You're going to lose your mobility, stamina will run out much quicker, and your movement speed is severely reduced. The majority of combat armors will also lose built-in EVA thrusters, meaning you're going to have to add additional weight to be wearing an EVA
Besondere
pack.
States-Eigenschaften hast du mit so einem Ding natürlich auch nicht.
In the heavy hunter armor. This is
Genau.
another suit in our heavy
Schwerer
armor class.
Jägerarmor.
However, this one is aimed at less at pure combat and more about hunting its
Der hat
prey.
natürlich
This is
eine
all the armor
Menge
for you bounty hunters out
Aktivscan.
there. The heavy hunter armor has the most powerful active scan for hunting their targets. Its scanner outshines
der
all
kann
others
viel
in
mehr
locating
Ziele
infrared
scannen.
and electromagnetic emissions. Perfect for locating those targets trying to lay low, whether that be human or creature alike. Whilst it's still classed as heavy armor, it does mix things up.
Seid ihr
So
eigentlich
have
am
slightly
besten
faster movement and
aufgestellt, wenn
ability,
ihr
but it loses
eine
the
Gruppe
protection.
habt,
You'll also be able to store more devices like
wo ihr alles
deployables
dabei
and
habt.
throwables. So to compare the stats, whilst not as tough
Wie
as
ich
our
gesagt
combat armor,
habe,
it does gain an increase in
Aktivscan
mobility,
ziemlich weit oben.
and while its scanner is the best
Die
of the
Panzerung,
best,
also
the
Protection,
arm is
ist auch
also
ziemlich weit
incredibly
oben.
noisy and emits powerful emissions. So while you may find your target with ease, there's a good chance that they'll know you're
Dafür
coming for
kein
them.
States-Modus.
Next up, let's look at our last additions to the team.
Durch seinen aktiven Scan auch. Scharfschütze. Auch der bekommt seine eigene Rüstung.
Alright.
Das Witzige ist, so Leute rüstet tatsächlich was.
I can tell who the fan favorite is there. Yeah. So we have our sniper, who is wearing our light stealth armor. Here's another example of a full suit feature. If the wearer has all pieces equipped, so that's helmet, core, arms, and legs, due to its mass and the suit's material, their missions will run so low that they will be undetectable on radar. With it being light armor, it also has a great level of mobility and traversal speeds, meaning should the wearer be spotted, they can quickly escape or reposition with ease. And remember, with it being light armor, no flight restrictions. So with the best stealth and fantastic speed, it's a must for any players looking to assassinate, infiltrate, or in this case, be a sniper. However, the protection provided is minimal. You don't want to be engaging in a full-on firefight in this suit. And just to reiterate, folks, as well, like great specialized armors like this one and all the ones that you've seen today, you're going to have to put the work in to have these at your disposal. And finally, surround our group, we have that one friend. We've all played MMOs, right? We all know that one friend. That friend's me. No. They ignore all the rules and the strategy. They can only play for 30 minutes a week. They might prefer a bit of glint on their sniper scopes. Who knows? Well, here at CIG, we also support that friend.
Ich bin mir durchaus sicher, dass wir diesen Taucheranzug irgendwann noch mal verwenden werden, um unter Wasser tauchen zu können. Früher oder später. Ja, und ich denke mal, alle auch im Spiel befindlichen Panzerungen, also Armors und so, werden wohl in diese Kategorie eingegliedert werden. Werden auch so nochmal neu eingeordnet. Und hier habe ich noch eine kleine Überraschung für euch. Denn er ist zurück. Und er wird doch ins Spiel kommen. Nachdem er schon totgesagt wurde, er wird doch kommen. Da hat es eine Saber entschärft, neue Saber. Sehr verlustreich. Das war's. Und warum sollte man so ein Ding töten? Natürlich für das Crafting. Wir können jede Menge Ressourcen gewinnen aus diesem Tier, die dann sehr wertvoll sind. Also das wird sich schon lohnen, als Jäger unterwegs zu sein. Die übrigens auch in verschiedenen Qualitätsgraden daherkommen.
How big is it really?
Hier sehen wir nochmal einen Längenvergleich von so einem Sandwurm und einer Idris daneben. Und dazwischen auch, den man schnell mal übersehen kann, eine Titan.
You'll see here an Idris. Anyone who's done Xenothreat knows how big the Idris is. You feel
also
like
der Sandwurm ist länger als die Idris.
This makes the Idris look small. There's also an Aegis Avenger Titan here as well. But if you look even closer, there's actually a Copion in this image. I'll give you a second to try and spot it.
Apex Valakar.
There is.
Da gibt es dann auch noch andere, also Höhlenvalakar und so weiter.
It's big. So for some fun numbers, it's 250 Copions long, 47 Aegis Avenger Titans long, and for our American friends, that's about 3.5 football fields.
250
But looking for our Copion friends, the Valakar actually comes in different sizes. So you'll be familiar with the variants we've done before with our quasi-grazers and our Copions. They're in different biomes and they have different aesthetics. But moving on, we want to also introduce different creature sizes. So these sizes will have unique behaviors, animation, audio, and harvestables associated to each size. So for our first size, we have the juvenile. These juveniles will respond to stimulus such as noisy footsteps and loud mining beams. This will cause them to burst out the ground and attack anyone who's disturbing them. And you'll find these in caves near valuable harvestables and minerals.
In Höhlen.
So for our next size, adults. The adult Valakars know not to pick fights and tend to remain themselves. However, if you exterminate too many juvenile Valakars, this will cause adults to show up, which are 3 times larger and a lot more.
Dreimal so lang wie der kleine.
Creature sizes are great because they allow us to create varied experiences as well as show you how creatures grow and evolve in the environments they live in and grow up in. Beyond that,
und dann der große mit 300 Metern Länge.
And the most deadly attacks. It's also the biggest living thing in the verse so far. So, in summary, monster hunting is coming. This is the first in a large series of apex creatures that you need to gather your crew together to take down this mighty beast. You need a diverse lineup of ships, ground vehicles, loadouts, and skill sets to take out the apex Valakar. Everyone at CIG is incredibly excited to get the Valakar into your hands.
Stammt da auch ein Teil der Drogen her.
We're also committed to bringing you gameplay experiences that only a game of our scale can provide. But that's all for the Valakar, for this Valakar. Let's take a look at some other fauna. Now, the Valakar is very exciting, but I also want to share with you the bigger picture for creatures. So let's start with some Valakar variants. Variants so far have typically just had alterations to their look and appearance. However, we want to go further with what variants can be. For example, what if the Valakar evolved and grew in a swamp environment instead of a desert planet? Or if the Valakar never made it to the surface and only lived in drowned caves? These are the kind of questions that make sci-fi one of the best mediums. And I can hear the questions already. What does an adult cave Valakar look like? What does an apex quasi-grazer look like? Well, it's these questions that get everyone excited that works on creatures to give you a glimpse of the big picture. All of these variances and differences and new creatures make up what we call our fauna matrix. The fauna matrix is basically our creature encyclopedia. So these concepts should show you that we want to get more weird and wonderful with our creatures. We started off with more traditional animal references like dogs and birds and cows. But now we're in a position to create the things that we love about sci-fi, which is the weird and the unknown. So looking at where we're going, all of our creatures have been defined for the road to 1.0. We've ensured we've got a rich, diverse, distinct roster of creatures to make each of our planets feel special. As well, as considering the unique elements of various planets, ensuring that they're populated with appropriate creatures. We've been designing creatures in mind so that planets' ecosystems influence their behaviors, designs, aesthetics, and harvestables. With that being said, I would like to give you a sneak peek at our fauna matrix. That's all from me. I'm very happy to be bringing the Valakar to all of our backers. It's really like nothing else you've played before. I'll leave you with this last video. Enjoy the rest of Citizencon, everybody.
Hier können wir jetzt nochmal verschiedene Tiere sehen. Die kommen werden. Echt toll.